Yeah. When you said seek my face, my heart said to you, your face. Yeah, I will seek Psalm 27:8. When the night is cold and I can't see, I lift my voice and fall to my knees. The world is loud, but I want your peace. Yeah, I seek your face. Come and speak to me. Yeah, I seek your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love. I seek your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love. Tears have fallen like midnight rain, but you restore what the world can't claim. You said sing me and you'll find my grace. So here I am, yeah, I seek your face. Yeah, I seek your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love. I seek your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love. Seek the Lord while he may be found. Yeah. Call on him while he is near. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. See your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love. Oh yeah. See your face, not just your hand. In a dry and weary land, you help me stand. I'm not asking for riches or signs from above. Just let me dwell in your presence and love.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. I hope you are doing well. Well, there are teachers all around this country that are getting fired over Charlie Kirk post. And of course, there are lawsuits. These people don't realize they're going to be shelling out a lot of money. If you don't have no law on the book saying you can't speak out against Charlie Kirk, which we know don't exist, and you still got the First Amendment out there, and these teachers did this on their own time, they didn't do it at the school, y'all gonna be shelling out millions of dollars behind what you're doing. And many of these teachers have already lawyered up. Now, I got on here a video from one of Charlie Kirk's classmates. It's going to be the first one you see. He said he was actually bullied by Charlie Kirk, and he's probably about the fourth classmate. Nobody that he went to school with have one single nice thing to say about him. They said he was nasty, he was arrogant, he was racist. And this classmate talks about when, because y'all know he tried to get into West Point and he didn't get in. So this classmate said, I guess he couldn't deal with it. So he made up some fake black guy as a reason on why he couldn't get in there. And he said that mess ain't even true. But it was, I guess that's the way he could cope with not getting in there. But well, let me tell y'all something. I've heard these things since I was young and working out in these corporations back in the day. I would hear them say that, oh, I applied for this job. Some black person got it over me because of affirmative action. Affirmative action has never worked that way for us. And we know the beneficiary were always white women. One thing I want you to always notice about these people, These people that tell you that are barely adequate. They are not the cream of the crop. They are not smart. These are usually your bottom of the barrel white people that probably average their way through life or below average their way through life. They are never among the best and brightest. I always notice that about these people that make these accusations. They're usually your barely adequate people. All right. They are not the top echelon at all. They're usually bottom feeders. So this classmate talks about that. I heard another one, I think either the same day he was unalived or maybe the next day. There was another classmate talking about him, and he didn't have not one nice thing to say about Charlie Kirk. That should say a lot right there. All right. He didn't get in because he probably didn't have the grades to get in West Point. We're always the scapegoat. From now on, I want y'all to notice every time they commit a crime and the crime makes the news, notice how they'll always double back black on black crime, Chicago. And remember when there were synagogue shootings up in here? What did they do the next day? Louis Farrakhan. They always do this, y'all. I just hope it's more amplified now more than ever so y'all can see exactly what has been done this entire time. So Charlie Kirk just pretty much used that as his crutch for whenever he couldn't achieve nothing. It's always some fictitious black person that don't exist that got in his way. That's why he didn't get it. And it's a load of BS. It's a load of BS when these average everyday people say that mess. Maybe the black person had better skills than you. Maybe that's what maybe they work better than you because y'all are not the best workers. I've been around you. You're not the best workers. And don't let them be smokers, y'all. They spend more time outside smoking than they do at their desk. Okay, I've seen that too, especially when they used to be able to go on smoke breaks. They would go out there for 20 minutes at a time. When break was only 10 minutes, they go out there for 20. Okay, or if lunch was an hour, they do an hour and 15 minutes. I've seen all of this stuff from these folks. I've seen it. So I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see the classmate first. And then after that, you're going to hear about these teachers that posted and, now they don't have jobs over a Charlie Kirk post, which is ridiculous, you know, and which brings me to another thought. Cash Patel came out when Asada Shakur passed and said nobody should be mourning her. First of all, Cash Patel, you don't tell me who to mourn and who not to mourn. But the same Cash Patel wants you to mourn Charlie Kirk. So we can't mourn our sister that passed. We can't mourn her, but we should mourn Charlie Kirk. If y'all don't go somewhere and sit down, we go mourn whoever we feel like mourning. We don't need no advice from Cash Patel or anybody on the right on telling us what to mourn and not to mourn. I don't need your advice. I don't want your advice. And it doesn't matter whether you say it or not. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. And if I want to acknowledge Asada Shakur, I'm going to do it because it's my right to do it. Plain and simple. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Right. Now, why did that come up? Hold on one second and get rid of this. All right, here we go. All right, y'all. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Give me a 1. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Charlie Kirk. I went to high school with him. I'm not someone who knew him too much as an adult or long afterwards, but I was around him a lot in high school, roughly from 2009 to 2011. And he was my bully. So I did not have a great opinion of him, really. But I will say this. Something changed. He was always kind of a pain to be around in high school. At least from my perspective, it was really relentless. But he wanted to go to West Point really, really, really badly. And he got rejected. I'm pretty sure it was the only school he applied to, and he got rejected. And after that happened, he would go around Wheeling High School. And anyone that would talk to him, he would say that it was some imaginary black person that took his spot. And that just set him off. And I think that was the only way that he could rationalize in his mind that he was not good enough for West Point. Like, don't get me wrong. He would go around telling Jews that they were going to hell. He would say to the Latino kids and to the black kids, to go back to their countries, and completely unprompted, bonkers stuff. He was 16 when he was saying this stuff, but it really went to 11. After he got rejected, just something happened. And I think that was the only way he could rationalize it. Do with that what you will, but he just couldn't handle that he got rejected. He couldn't possibly imagine that. It was just bizarre. And this week has not been fun, but that is a memory that is distinctly coming back. And to a lot of us that went to Wheeling High School with them, it's just, it was weird, man. So I grew up.
So just so we're clear, if you are a racist teacher in the US, in Florida, for instance, it's okay to say racist things. However, if you make commentary about the fact that you're not upset or not sad for losing Charlie Kirk, you can be fired. Yeah. So racist, okay, but not in support of Charlie Kirk, not okay. I know I have a lot of followers from all over the world that are baffled by how we do things here in the US, and I'm sure this is just adding to the list. We are already in a major teacher shortage, so I can't even imagine what happens to some of our kids now. And also, if you're in the military and you're found to be making disparaging marks on Charlie Kirk, you can be sanctioned for that as well.
This is the 8-page lawsuit filed the morning after Oskaloosa community members filled the school district school boardroom Wednesday night.
I move that the Board of Education terminate the continuing teaching contract of Matthew Cargill.
The now former art teacher Matthew Cargill suing both the Oskaloosa Community School District and Superintendent Michael Fisher. In the court documents, attorneys say Cargill's post on his personal Facebook account following the death of Charlie Kirk was, quote, rhetorical hyperbole. The lawsuit says the post was not made in the classroom or during working hours, and it did not threaten anyone, incite imminent unlawful action, and wasn't directed at anyone in the school community. What came after the post, as mentioned in the lawsuit, is people contacting the district, some demanding Cargill be punished.
Just wanted to extend a thank you for all of the calls and emails.
The district telling KCCI Wednesday night it received more than 1,200 phone calls. The lawsuit claims the district and superintendent acted not because Cargill's post disrupted the learning environment, but because they, quote, disapproved of his protected speech. The lawsuit also alleges that Superintendent Michael Fisher's recommendation to terminate Cargill was made public. It also claims Fisher made clear that, quote, his condemnation was rooted in his personal beliefs, not in evidence of disruption. when KCCI spoke with Fisher on September 11th.
This has created substantial material disruption to our learning environment the last 12 hours.
He said there was some disruption. The district telling KCCI Wednesday night about 8% of students were not in class after the post was made. No one from the district could speak on camera Thursday due to this being a personnel matter and pending litigation, but a statement was shared saying in part, quote, "This matter was handled in accordance with applicable federal and state law and board policy, and that the district's focus is on creating safe, healthy, and kind schools." Kayla James, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.
Educators across the country are filing lawsuits alleging they were unlawfully fired for their comments about Charlie Kirk's assassination. In the complaints obtained by ABC News, plaintiffs claim their First Amendment rights were violated because the comments were made on personal social media accounts. One teacher in Iowa says she was fired for comparing Kirk to a Nazi. The district confirmed the firing, saying the situation was, quote, handled in accordance with applicable federal and state law and board policy.
A Martin County teacher is out of the classroom and under investigation after the district says they posted disturbing comments online about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, the district, again, making this official in a statement here. I want to move out of the way so you can see it. So this is from the Martin County School District. They posted that they were aware of a recent social media comment made by one of their educators regarding the death of Charlie Kirk, and that's why they decided to remove that teacher from the classroom. But this isn't just a local story. This is part of a statewide crackdown. Florida's education commissioner is also sounding the alarm, taking to X right here. So here's that post that was posted yesterday on Thursday. He calls such online posts vile and is warning that they could shatter public trust. And in a fiery letter to school leaders, he is urging educators to govern yourself accordingly. Even Governor Ron DeSantis is sharing that post on social media as well. He is backing the move, calling for swift accountability. We have this story and much more on the District of Martin County statements as well. You can read that on CBS12.com.
At Forest Park High School in Baltimore City, a social studies teacher sparking a firestorm on social media. In a now deleted post, Derek Chavez featuring an article on Charlie Kirk's assassination with the caption, "Wrong guy, but we'll take what we can get," appearing to reference the failed assassination of Donald Trump. In response,
no one deserves to die.
That is a problem.
Nearby residents we spoke with voicing mixed reactions.
Would you want a teacher who said this to be teaching your children?
No, I would not. In fact, I would be at the next Parent Teachers Association meeting.
I don't think this man should lose his job for it. We have someone in the White House right now who incited violence on January 6th.
Later addressing calls for his resignation, Chavez doubling down, writing, "People are spicy about my last post," and "Luckily, I'm a good teacher and people actually like me here." Meanwhile, a similar situation playing out in Cecil and Wicomico County. At Rising Sun Elementary School, this teacher writing in part, "Guess that's karma, good riddance," over a picture of Kirk. And at Salisbury Middle School, another teacher sharing a meme of Trump whispering in Kirk's ear, saying, "The Epstein thing won't die. Gonna need you to take one for the team." Both posts igniting intense scrutiny. Among the dozens of comments, "She should be terminated immediately," and "This teacher is out of line. Scary to know she's teaching kids." Today, Fox 45 reaching out to all three school systems, Cecil and Wicomico, sending statements saying they can't comment on personnel matters, but are investigating the controversial remarks. Cecil calling it an unexpected, unnecessary, and unwelcome disruption. City schools did not respond.
It's just utterly unbelievable that adults would act this way.
According to rhetoric professor Richard Vatz, teachers are often held to a higher level of accountability for their words and actions outside the classroom. But no matter your profession, in the age of social media, where fleeting thoughts live forever online, Vatz cautioning all users to think twice before making personal opinions public.
Students at Marist Catholic High School in Eugene staging a walkout last Friday, all in support of a teacher who was removed from his position following comments made about Charlie Kirk.
Students on campus told us the teacher made disparaging comments comments during class time against Kirk. Parents say Marist's principal sent out a notice last Tuesday that said the teacher would no longer be teaching at the school. We spoke with the principal, who said due to school policy, he is unable to comment on personnel matters. Meanwhile, one senior who says he had the teacher for theology class tells us he was beloved and knew the students by name.
An amazing teacher. He really tried to make an effort to make everybody feel included, and he really pushed for everybody to come together. There is time and place that needs to be involved for very controversial issues, but I think Marist's administration just went really too far. It is a private school, so that they might have a little bit more ability to do things like this, but I'm not sure for the future of the country about freedom of speech.
He said that the post that was posted wasn't offensive or whatever. First of all, there just should be nothing posted. Let's be clear. There should be nothing posted. You're there to teach math and reading. We don't care about your politics, teacher. No place, okay? No, not my opinion.
Okay, I need to maintain good order.
You're to read and write.
Good order. And Mrs. Talley, I would ask you, please direct your comments at me.
So this is what I read.
I'm going to ask you, please.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you, please do not read this post. I'm going to ask you. I cannot infringe on.
But somebody just said there was nothing in it. It's not this. I don't know the one I have. It's not that vicious. But there was a lie told.
And you can say whatever you would like, but I ask you not to.
All right, then all I'm going to say is the post that I read called a person who was just murdered for his views that did nothing violent a white supremacist. So I don't know how I think that's pretty insightful. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you for your comments, Mrs. Scout.
I got $1 for anybody that can tell me what that is before they watch this video. So that is all the papers on a lawsuit that a teacher just filed against his school district and his superintendent for firing him about a post he made on social media about Charlie Kirk. This is not the only teacher that this has happened to, but that is all his documentation for his little lawsuit he just filed. So this one is about to go down, y'all. At the end of the day, it's freedom of speech, right? That's a whole thing in this country, supposedly, but only if you're saying something that other people agree with. So this man lost his job behind a social media post about his opinion, and he went and filed a lawsuit, y'all. Pretty sure this happened in Georgia. Don't quote me on that, but I will keep you updated.
Did a public school teacher really just get fired over a post about Charlie Kirk? Here is what happened and what it means for your job and your fee. Greenville County, South Carolina teacher Wynn Bulliet posted on social media, "America is great again." After the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk, the district investigated and this man is no longer employed. They expect for public school staff to be professional even off the clock. And if anything that they post becomes disruptive or undermines the school district, they can move fast and eliminate that person from their job. Freedom of speech only protects you from the government. Private jobs have different rules that they have to follow. And this man just ruined his whole career because he couldn't hold something into himself. Like, that was somebody's child. That was somebody's dad. The takeaway from this would be, y'all better watch what y'all say online. People need to go and look up social media policy for their job and watch out what they're saying. Because last week, a hospice nurse said something very inappropriate and she lost her job as her supervisor saw my video reply. Also, I talk to my kids, even if you don't agree with what someone else says, that doesn't mean that they deserve to have their life taken. That doesn't make America great again. That makes this just another sad place where people hate one another when we should all be trying to find a way to get along, even if we don't believe the same things. Has a day just
First alert update, Greenville County Schools confirmed
teacher is no longer employed after posting comments on social media referencing Charlie Kirk's death. Wayne Bolick was a teacher at Southside High School. Multiple South Carolina politicians shared a post appearing to be from Bolick, which says in part, quote, "Thoughts and prayers to his children, but in my honest opinion, America became greater today." The district confirmed after investigation that Bolick did write the post and said they strongly condemn his words.
I'm still reeling from having to clean out my classroom yesterday. It was a post that was done at night on my personal computer, on my own time, on a Facebook account that did not say where I worked. But the administrator that spoke with me just said that it had caused a firestorm, and that was it.
When you heard that a member of Congress had looked at your post and threatened to cut off funding to the city of Ellsworth and or the school district, what did you think about that?
If he thought that I was dangerous, what does he think defunding schools is going to do? Like, that hurts the entire community. And if he really is concerned about Ellsworth, then that's not the path to take. I'm not glad that Charlie Kirk was murdered, and I'm not happy with the way that I worded that. But I'm not a danger to students, and certainly a larger danger is to defund medical systems and school districts and cities in general.
All right, you see what's going on around the country. So I would imagine probably over the next several weeks, these teachers are going to slowly get fired, but the lawsuits will go up. One thing I do notice, y'all, as I go through these stories and even go and look at the actual news where these teachers are getting fired, an awful lot of them are white teachers. It's not very many melanated teachers that are getting fired. I'm not saying none did not get fired. I'm sure some did, but overwhelmingly, these teachers are white that are getting fired and posting stuff about Charlie Kirk. Just like the days after, his unaliving, it was mostly, if you go look at the videos, most of the videos were white people talking disparagingly, about Charlie Kirk. It wasn't a lot of our people. It was definitely some, but it was way more white people doing that stuff. Way more. So y'all, don't be surprised if your children and grandchildren come home and tell you their teachers were fired for what they posted about Charlie Kirk. This seems to be a very prevalent thing over the last few weeks. And I would imagine it will probably go on for a few more weeks. And, eventually the chatter about Charlie Kirk and all that is going to fizzle out. It really is. It's going to fizzle out. It may kick up some dirt again when Tyler Robinson go on trial. It may have an uptick then, but eventually this stuff is going to be out of the news and Charlie will barely be spoken about. That's the way the news cycles work in America, and it will work in this case as well. Well, y'all, thank you for being here. I do appreciate our time together, and I hope to see you on my next live stream, which is at 7:45. So everybody, please enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you then. Shalom, family.